It's 12:01 a.m. here at the Dolphin House. Welcome to the Dreamers, the Midnighters, the Nocturnals, and the Celestials. Somehow, amidst the infinite, mysterious hysteria of the internet, you have found your way to us at our secret clubhouse known as the Dolphin House, here at the edge of the Pacific Ocean, in a city called Los Angeles, where the Lakers are on a winning streak and there's bioluminescence in the ocean. And these precise coordinates, this dreaming location, shall be henceforth known as Dolphins at Midnight. This is episode 1. I'm your host, Kimmy K, joined by my two cats, Porsha and Mars. You'll get to know Porsha and Mars over forthcoming episodes, but just know that this is their show, start to finish. I have zero interest in creating a podcast, but they were adamant that I host his show on their behalf because there's those things in the computer where you have to put your hand and slide it around and double click, and they just don't have the technology figured out quite yet for the pads with the cat paws. So if there's anyone out there right now, any listeners in the tech industry, entrepreneurs who maybe have some R&D on that subject, like they know how to get the sensitivity of the cat paw to do the double click thing, just write us. You can go onto our website and contact us, and we could go into business. We could do like a collaborative, Dolphins at Midnight gear thing. That's like, it's not like a mouse because that also confuses the cats. We just need like a slidey pad for the cat paws. That's what we're looking for here. I don't know what your cats are doing out there in terms of tech, if they can do the double click thing. But my cats, their maximum tech capacity is just opening my computer and clicking onto the bookmark that I have for Squirrel TV and pressing play. But that's as far as they've gone thus far. So on the show, we are also joined by a dolphin. It's a teenage dolphin. Her name is Miami. She was the first one to sort of make friends with Mars, which is a story for episode 2. We will get to that. She is the producer of the show and the one facilitating the dream interpretations on behalf of all of the dolphins out there. She's really our point of contact. And just to keep this in mind, she's representing like 6 million dolphins that are out there right now swimming in the depth of the ocean at midnight. And one of the great questions of the show is, what are the dolphins doing out there at midnight? And the cat's theory is they are listening to our dreams and potentially at the same time creating our dreams. So we're going to test the theory by having dream callers call in, and we'll work with the cats and the dolphins. There's a couple rules about this show in particular set by Porsha. The concept of the show is from Mars and the name of the show and the branding, but Porsha really is the queen rule maker. So just so you know the lay of the land, rule number 1 about this podcast, it can only be recorded at midnight, because that's when the dolphins and the cats talk to each other. And that's when humans finally shut up. And that's when the world has the most dreams. Number 2 from Porsha is we are on cat time in this show. So the episodes have to be short. I mean, every minute that passes is like 15-ish minutes for a cat. So a podcast that's an hour long is 15 hours for them. She's saying if we sit here talking about like a cold plunge for 1 hour, it's too much. It's just way too much. So she wanted the episodes to be 5 minutes long, but we came to a sort of compromise at like 20-ish minutes. Basically, in a nutshell, cats are like Tom Petty. He said, don't bore us, just get to the chorus. So that's the memo from Porsha. And last, most important is, we are never allowed to talk about cold plunges on this podcast. We can't even speak those 2 words. So I'm going to give you a lay of the land for the dream setup. This is kind of the org chart of the crew here at Dolphins at Midnight. So a dreamer is going to call in live with a dream, and the cats are going to ask the dreamer a few follow-up questions. Then the cats are going to translate to me what the dolphins are saying via Miami. So it's a little bit of telephone tag that's going on here, folks. So just be really kind of kind with this sort of inner species eco dream translation that's going on. Because here's the thing, I can hear what the cats are saying, but I cannot hear what the dolphins are saying. I'm not even going to pretend that I know what the dolphins are saying. They're like clicking and humming and singing, but the cats can hear what the dolphins are saying. So when the dreamer calls in, all of us are going to be listening. You're going to be listening. I'm going to be listening. The cats and the dolphins. And then the dolphins are going to do what's called a dreaming mirror. They'll send that message to the cats. The cats will send it to me. And then I'm going to speak it through English into the mic so we all can hear it. So it is definitely telephone tag. I'm not totally sure how this is all going to go. It's a bit of a experiment. So if there are discrepancies of any kind, just be patient with us as we refine our process of listening. And just in the end, you know, me as the host, don't shoot the messenger. And let's just remember, we're just here for the theta. We're here for the theta waves. And actually in LA right now, there's bioluminescent waves out there at the ocean. I mean, when I went out there before the show started, the waves were crashing in the dark, and the white part of the crashing wave was glowing like it had a glow stick inside of it, like Burning Man shit. And I was sitting there like, how is there Burning Man glow sticks inside the waves? Like, what's happening here? And then I remembered that my friend had said a couple of days ago, there's bioluminescence in the ocean right now in Los Angeles. And I was like, weird. That is in conjunction with the Lakers having like a total winning streak. So our question here is, does the Lakers winning streak make bioluminescence in the ocean? Or does the bioluminescence in the ocean make the Lakers have a winning streak? This we don't know. We also don't know if that bioluminescence is from a natural phenomenon or if it's just a very particular combination of toxicities that are in the ocean that are making it glow. For now, to get back to the theta, we all know that theta is the dream wave state. So that's what we want to get into on this show. It's super healthy for us. It's restorative. It's good for the brain. It's good for your skin. It's good for your sex life. On that note, hopefully by the time this podcast airs, we're going to have some theta-themed merch and some Dolphins at Midnight merch available at dolphinsatmidnight.com, where you can also sign up, in parentheses, donate to the show, to have your dream entered into the dreamcaller raffle. So someday your dream could be interpreted live on the show. That, by the way, was not a commercial. That was just my cats telling you that theta is the only wave to be in. This is a quote from Mars. Theta is the only way to be. Okay, with this, we welcome the very first dream caller onto the line. Dreamer, if you are out there, please give us a ring on the cat phone. Dreamer, welcome to Dolphins at Midnight. You are our very first dream caller, known henceforth as dream caller number 1. Your name will remain unknown, but can you please tell us what city and state you're calling from tonight?
I am calling from Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas?
Yes.
Okay, I think that the closest dolphin is probably a ways away. But that doesn't mean that Miami the dolphin can't communicate with the dolphins over there that are closer to you. So I think we're going to be okay with your dream.
Me too.
Okay, great. So I want to share with you a few tips on sharing your dream with us. Number one, please tell your dream like it's a story in the present tense. For example, I'm in a car, or I'm eating cat food. Two, just let the dream speak for itself. There's no need to assess or explain why you picked it, or what you think of it, or what you think the symbols mean. And then lastly, this is a really important one. When your dream is finished, please indicate the completion of the dream with the phrase, I am complete. Those three words are kind of like magical triggers that create this chain response between the cats and the dolphins.
Understood.
And they will know that your dream has been spoken and shared, and that the dream mirroring can begin. Do you have all that?
Perfect. Yes.
Okay, great. And then the cats are going to ask you some questions, and the dolphin is then going to offer you a dreaming mirror.
Perfect. It makes complete sense.
Okay, great. Do you have any questions before we begin that can't be answered by simply beginning?
No.
Okay, great. Dreamcaller number one, please share with us your dream.
I'm in a stairwell and I'm walking down and I start to hear incomprehensibly beautiful music, and I see that it's coming from a phone. And I go and I pick up the phone, and it looks like I'm looking at Spotify, and it's a new song, and the cover art is by Kim Kranz, but it's something that I haven't seen before, and the name of the song is More Beautiful Than Light, and the image is like darkness going into like a crystal, and then coming out the other side is the full spectrum of the rainbow. And it's so beautiful, I start crying. And then the dream changes, and now I'm at like the base of like a slow sloping hill. It's like a huge park, and it feels like it's the West Coast, and it's the evening, and the sky is ablaze, and it's very mythical feeling. And I'm talking to my therapist, and we're underneath a pavilion, and we're talking about my parts, and like my internal family system parts, and it feels very like good and healthy. And then the dream changes, and now I'm at the peak of the slow sloping hill, and it's a basketball court, and it's like right next to like a huge cliff that goes out into the ocean, and I'm playing basketball with three other people. One of the three other people is Kim, and it's just a beautiful feeling dream. And then the dream scene changes again, and it's all black. And it feels like I'm listening to Kim talk to somebody else, and the felt sense of I don't remember what is said, but the felt sense is that, like that Kim is being asked to trust. I am complete.
Dreamcaller, we hear your dream. Thank you for sharing it. Mars would like to ask you a direct question in relation to the first section of the dream. He wants to know, how long has it been since you listened to Pink Floyd?
Many months.
He senses there might be a key there because of the album artwork with the refracting rainbow from the prism.
Beautiful. Thank you, Mars.
Mars also wants to know Why is it that you don't play basketball with 3 people regularly? They really want to. Why don't you?
What comes to mind is workaholism.
Okay, one more question from Mars, and then Porsha's on the line. Mars wants to know more about the cliff.
The first thing that comes to mind is Esalen, the school.
Have you ever been there?
I haven't.
Do you know if they have a basketball court there?
I'd be willing to bet they don't, but I don't know.
If they do, you might want to play 3-on-3 there while listening to Pink Floyd. That's the memo from Mars. I'm going to pass the mic to Porsha.
Perfect.
Porsha has some concern about the song at the opening of the dream that hasn't been created yet. Is there an instrument in your house that you're not playing?
I have a trumpet that I don't play. And the song didn't sound like it had anything to do with the trumpet, but, heard.
There's no other instruments in the house?
That I haven't played, no. I mean, I guess anything could be an instrument. But...
I think it might be a vocal sound. I think she wants you to play the vocal instrument. Have you heard of that?
I have.
Okay,
Thank you.
that was a sincere question from Porsha, if you'd ever heard of the vocal sound.
Well, coming through Kim's tone, it didn't sound completely sincere, but I believe you, Porsha.
I think there's one more thing from Porsha, and then we're going to drop into the dolphins. She wants you to explain the 4th section of the dream where you drop into darkness. Can you just take us through that one more time?
The unique quality of that dream or that part of the dream was that there was no imagery, and it felt like I was almost eavesdropping on something. It felt like I was not a character, and it felt distinctly like not of the dream, but like the dream had ended, but the consciousness was still extending, and it felt like I was listening to someone give Kim advice.
Okay, Porsha says thank you. With that additional description, we're going to drop into the dolphins.
Perfect.
And you can just take this dolphin mirroring as a kind of blessing or instruction. It's likely there won't even be a question or anything to relay back and forth, but rather it's really just the dolphins speaking to you, so you can just lay back and close your eyes and take this in almost as a secondary dream in and of itself.
Beautiful.
Dream caller number 1. This is a message from the dolphins. You're backstage now, behind the curtain of the dream. This is the place that people barely find. It's the ocean below the ocean and the cave behind the cave. You've gone backstage. From this place, there's a sound, a healing song on the stage. And they're missing you, your voice, your singing. So you're at this choice point, backstage, part of the architecture of the production. And it's a choice point. Do you pivot and open the curtain and walk on stage and sing? Or do you stay in the depth of the darkness where you are also needed, orchestrating the delivery of the creation? This is a question for you to ponder. What would it feel like to pivot? What would it feel like to hear your song? There is one more thing I must speak to. It's the basketball game. It also has a backstage, the locker room. These are the same formations. Study them. Who are you when you're in the locker room with your best friends? And who are you on the court? There is one more thing I want to tell you, but I don't think it's quite the moment. I will send you another dream. Please ask for it explicitly when you sleep tomorrow night. That image will clarify your decisions. Blessings. We are the dolphins, and we are complete. Dreamcaller number 1, that wraps the dreaming portion of the show, and I want to thank you infinitely for the courage to share your dream as the first caller. And I suggest, as the dolphins did directly to you, that if you have any further questions, you can just ask the dream. Just ask right at midnight. You know, when the clock turns from 11:59 to midnight, and just, that's when you say, hey, dolphins, can you send me a little clarifying information?
Now, is that by midnight in Texas where there aren't dolphins, or is it midnight in LA where there are dolphins?
It's a great question. We haven't done A&B testing on this podcast yet. We are really just getting started. And this episode is already too long, and the cats are getting really agitated. The podcast is 7.5 hours long for the cats. We're at the 30-minute mark.
Well, then I will go. Thank you so much.
Okay, blessings to the dreamer and the dream. Till next time.
Until next time.
Okay, listeners. Wow. I'm just going to say that our very first caller did hand us a 4-part dream to try to work with. That was like some advanced situation. We kind of got thrown under the dream bus, just like a little bit. I respect the dream bus, but that was a lot. So we did a great job. I want to thank the dolphins and the cats. Scratch that, friends. We can't stop the show there. This is Kimmy K interrupting the ending of that program by interjecting with a new segment. This is for emergency situations only, when we get hit really badly by the dreaming bus. We're going to call this segment The Morning After. We use this segment when we wake up kind of hungover from the Dolphins at Midnight live experience. And I woke up this morning and was like, that was a big dream. Not only a big dream for the dream caller, but also for me. I was in it. Like 3 out of the 4 dream sections. So I felt like I couldn't just put all of the onus on the dream caller. All the homework is just theirs to do. And I realized what the dream was asking me to do was to write the theme song for this show. So today, that's what I'm doing, folks. And I'm going to end this first episode fading out into what now exists because of the dream caller. This song that he mentioned that was called More Beautiful Than Light. It's a high bar to aim for with a song, especially a theme song. But I'm going to go for it. So here's my attempt to follow the dream song assignment that was sent to us circuitously from Austin, Texas. Thank you so much to the dream caller for the precision of your visions. Thank you to the dolphins. Thank you to Porsha and Mars, and to the Insomniac tech support behind the scenes here at the Dolphin House. Listeners, we already love you. I hope you are out there right now singing your own unsung dream song. And if you do, please send it to us. We will see you next time at midnight. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Dolphins at midnight. Dolphins at midnight. Dolphins at midnight.